What's good, YouTube? Welcome to Word is Law episode 6, where I give my takes on random ass subjects. Could be sports, gaming, music, whatever. Why I call it Word is Law? My shit valid. Which, by the way, I don't know if you guys noticed by now, but I got a new logo. Shout out my man Brandi. This is her art page on Instagram, and I will also tag her in the description below. She does amazing work at a low price and keeps it very professional. So again, guys, if you need any artwork whatsoever, hit her up and she'll get it done. And I just want to thank her again for the amazing artwork. I appreciate it. On today's episode, we're talking about the world-renowned sports shows that everyone talks about on Twitter, which is mainly First Take and Undisputed, not gonna lie. Because obviously there's a reason we tune into these sports shows, despite calling the analysts or hosts idiots every other day for simply disagreeing with us. At the end of the day, we do indeed love the characters of Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharp, Max Kellerman, and many other analysts. But there's also analysts, hosts, or for some of you guys even shows altogether, that we despise for being the epiphany of bad television, of whom I will call out and explain later in this video. For starters, let's talk about what all these sports shows have in common, whether it's good or bad. Because credits to all these shows, I can very much admit that without them, the existing sports world would probably be far less exciting. Now, I can concede a slight bias in that statement, because the role of being a televised sports analyst is borderline a dream job of mine at this point. In fact, it's what inspired me to do YouTube to even begin with. They not only bring entertainment and hype for the sports events that have either passed or that are coming up, but they can also often start discussion and at least make you think about what they're saying, which by default improves your knowledge and love for the sports. And although the point only took like 30 seconds to reiterate, please acknowledge how major it really is. Sports are so subjective, they lack so much objectivity at times. It's only natural to want to get your point across and express your opinion while also hearing if others have the same one or different ones. A lot of people have different values in players, teams, or even sports as a whole, and that can sway how they think or how they are in the sports world. There's people who genuinely believe that Lamar Jackson is better than Russell Wilson, or that Larry Bird is better than Kobe Bryant. They might be under the influence or be doing acid or some shit, but they think it. Either way, it's just interesting to hear those views and at least try to understand why. But that leads me perfectly to my first major problem with all these sports shows. The thirst for hot takes, bro. Oh my god. Now, I'm not counting their pockets. They do have a job, they have to get their views, and they have to make their money. Respect. But I mean, god damn, some of the shit is kind of obvious that either they don't even believe it or they didn't even research before saying this. You gotta think, you're on television. Shit, I even research before I say what I say on YouTube, and I don't even have 60 subscribers. Let alone do I have millions and millions of fans, get paid millions of dollars for some people, and you're gonna say some real life retarded shit on television? Like, yo, what? Not everybody's perfect, but when you're doing it for attention, my nigga, at least be a little more accurate in what you're saying. Earlier in the video, I made a joke about how Larry Bird is ranked over Kobe Bryant or Lamar Jackson's ranked over Russell Wilson by some people. Do I qualify them as a hot take? Maybe, but at least they're respectable and I can understand why they're saying it, and they're backed up by some points. Like, at least they have a basis as to why they think that. But to give you a better example of what I'm talking about, there was a whole segment on First Take not too long ago regarding who they wanted to be the 8th seed in the West. It was between the Grizzlies, the Blazers, and the Pelicans. I believe Dominique Foxworth, Jay Williams, and Stephen A were on the segment. Now, what seemed to be a harmless topic that was just about general discussion, like I said was good, quickly turns into a thirst for hot takes. As Stephen A and Jay Williams later in the segment both agree for some reason that if Damian Lillard and the Portland Trailblazers make the 8th seed, they can not only win a game but upset the Lakers in a series. And the whole argument was based off of them saying nobody can guard Damian Lillard. Jay then goes on to say that the Blazers have people that can guard LeBron James. At the same time, he then later says nobody can guard Anthony Davis, but concludes his point with if CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard get hot, they can win any series. This highlights two major things that I hate about sports shows. One, as I mentioned before, is the thirst for hot takes, as Stephen A. Smith has went back and forth on who he believes is the best player in the world between LeBron and Kevin Durant. Since Kevin Durant isn't playing, safe to say he believes LeBron James is the best player in the world right now. He also believes Anthony Davis is a top 5 player in the world, and yet they're going to lose to the Portland Trailblazers? Shit, just to get right to it, Stephen A. has said the Lakers are going to win the championship this season. If you believe that they're going to win the championship, there is no, oh, the Blazers can upset them. All season long, the First Take cast has been pretty unanimous with the opinion that the Lakers and Clippers will meet in the Western Conference Finals, and that winner will win the title. I wouldn't be surprised if some of them flip to Milwaukee later on. That is fair enough. I'm not going to call them flip-flopping for that, as the playoffs do give off a certain vibe in the middle of the moment. But my God, is this not exactly what I'm talking about? The Blazers are currently the 9th seed in the West, 3 games out from the 8th seed, and you said that your finals pick is going to be a first-round exit if the Blazers make the playoffs. If I didn't foreshadow it enough, that's my second biggest problem with sports shows. These are sports professionals. They know their stuff. At the end of the day, they actually know their stuff, and they have access to way more stats and statistics and information than we would ever even dream of. Am I saying I want a nerd show and there shouldn't be no entertainment whatsoever? Hell no. Why the fuck would I watch that? But you can at least make arguments that are better than a 7th grader. Because to use that same segment, saying the Blazers will win because if Dame and CJ get hot, the Lakers don't have a lockdown guard, simply is a preschool argument that's pretty childish and actually incorrect, just straight up. Yes, the Lakers lost Avery Bradley, but Danny Green is still on the roster. You know the Danny Green that was just on the NBA All-Defensive Second Team in 2017. I'm not out here about to act like Danny Green's gonna simply shut down Dame Lillard. No, that would make me ignorant. But the point is, one, they have that guard that you're looking for if you want to be that simple. Also, they signed J.R. Smith, who Stephen A. thinks actually is just a straight up upgrade from Avery Bradley, including on the defensive end, which although I believe is asinine, if that's what he believes, then how is he saying that when I just named now 2 lockdown guards? But if we want to even take this debate a little bit more maturely and think about it a little bit harder, you would realize how dumb that argument is. Because there's many defensive schemes, rotations, or simply even switching the matchups. Come on, man. And I was actually really disappointed in Jay. We've all seen the clip in which he basically sunned Max when Max said that Kawhi had more clutch moments than Kobe, and Jay literally said name those clutch moments. Literally exposed the argument. It was great. I don't want to drag that on too long because I do have other points to get to, but I'm gonna just end with this. If your stipulation for a team beating another team in a 7-game series is based off of, oh, if X or Y player or players get hot, you don't believe that team's gonna win. Now, this is a little nitpicky, but one thing about sports shows that I'm seeing lately is that they don't invest in good moderators. A moderator is supposed to keep the show on track. It's supposed to keep the argument going, at the same time make sure that, hey, we have commercial time to hit, let's shut the fuck up. This may be considered a hot take, but I'm a firm believer there's even moments in which a moderator can join the discussion. If you have an intriguing topic but the argument is becoming more basic and repetitive as time goes on, why not share that third viewpoint or even apply more pressure to one side? That's still being productive. That's still doing your job. In fact, you're doing your job really well at that point. I think Mike Greenberg from Get Up actually does this really well. I haven't watched her since she departed from Undisputed, but Joy Taylor did her job phenomenally well. I think she was the best moderator at the time, honestly. In fact, I even found myself watching her Maybe I'm Crazy podcast on YouTube. It was actually pretty good. But unfortunately, most shows have either one of the two things I'm about to mention. Either A, they have a moderator who quite literally reads a card and then shuts the fuck up until the segment's supposed to end, which again, you're not really doing anything, you're just following instructions. Terrible because you're offering nothing but your presence, but for real, you don't even belong there at that point. But I suppose it's better than B, the moderator that neglects their job and dictates the show. They don't know how to shut the fuck up, they always got something to say, have a comment, roll their eyes, they're just always in everything and they're not supposed to be in everything. In addition to that, they cut off segments at random points in times, even if that argument is doing well. I'm not even going to go on her too hard, but obviously this fits Molly Karam. Well known for being loud and talking over Max and Stephen A in any subject that she's halfway passionate about. Despite the fact most of the time she's just loud and emotionally wrong, I don't even think that's her worst trait. As I said at the end of my previous point, she cuts off really good arguments at really bad times. I'm not even going to drop clips for this one. Go ahead and watch a First Take episode that has either the Giants or Tom Brady as a segment. Not only those segments though, watch the entire show, you will see exactly what I'm talking about. But the most annoying thing about these shows has to be the meme searching and the bad casting. Now, Shannon Sharp and Stephen A as people are straight up hilarious, but there's definitely moments in which you can clearly tell they're trying to pose for a meme, say something for a meme, and it comes off kind of cringy. My niggas, you are already funny as fuck, just be you. And I don't need to say much about bad casting. There's definitely some analysts who don't have the personality, some analysts who don't have the knowledge, and there's definitely some who don't have both. And it really pisses me off when the main cast isn't there. Not that I have to see the same 4 people talk about sports every day, but more so that they go out their way to try to make it the same 4 people talk about sports every day. Granted, the side characters on First Take actually have done a great job at establishing their own identities and stuff, but most of them on their debuts try to come off as Stephen A. Jr. or Max Kellerman Jr., and it's really annoying. Because although I would rather see Stephen A. and Max host the show, when they're not hosting the show, I don't want to see half-ass versions of them. I'd rather just see new people host the show and see if there's a new character that I like. And I'm gonna keep calling them characters because they are personalities on television, and at the end of the day, I firmly believe that there's some shit that they say that they do not believe. But through everything I just said, borderline a rant at this point, I do love sports shows. Getting all the several opinions, the insider information that they can offer, all of that stuff really intrigues me, and I hope it intrigues everyone else as much as it does for me. Also, it's forever funny just to see 2 grown men yell at each other other over sports. That shit is always funny. If there are two sports fans, there's bound to be sports debate, and these shows offer that on a consistent basis. I love it. And as flip-floppy as they can be sometimes, or as annoying they can be, or whatever, we give them a lot of shit. But at the end of the day, we do love them. Stephen A has a fucking burner account that is borderline verified on Twitter. And even the biggest Braun fans in the world admit they have a good laugh when Skip Bayless goes on that nigga. Remember how he was with Tim Tebow? In conclusion, there's definitely things about sports shows that can be improved upon. They can definitely be unprofessional at times. And sometimes it's a really bad and cringy thing, but sometimes it's for the good. It's entertainment. And if you wanted a more informative blend, I highly recommend you keep watching basketball videos on YouTube. The topics are more diverse, the statements are more authentic, and the personalities are completely different. But that's gonna do it for Word is Law episode 6. Don't forget to rate, comment, share, and please subscribe. And I will see you guys next week.